My biggest lesson this month is that learning to pace yourself is an undervalued skill. Yep. January was a hectic month. There were three things that made this month very hectic. My partner moved his gym to another location. We started the year off with a very sick little boy, unfortunately. And I have been working on aligning the things in my business with the Exploring Introvert. Hi, Explorers! Welcome to the Exploring Introvert. I am back today sharing a monthly update with you. This time, January. Yeah, what happened in January? What have I been up to? Questions that I have and lessons that I'm learning. And I talk about business. I talk about life and navigating life as an introvert. If you're interested in a more in-depth view on topics that are important for introverts, I invite you to sign up for my newsletter, The Exploring Introvert. I send an email every other week, and I'll tell you a little bit more about a recent article that I wrote about the 21-day rule to build a habit a little bit later. So first thing, moving the gym. My partner is an IT developer by day and a fitness coach by night. And for the past few years, he's had his gym here, like in our shed. We have like a medium-sized shed in our yard, and that worked very well. But now his group was growing, which is great. So it was time to find another location, and he found one last November. So we've been preparing for the move, which happened in the beginning of January. I wasn't involved with the move very much. Like, he organized most of that with the help of his associates. And yeah, our roles and labor division as a couple, as a family, has shifted over the years. And right now, he's focusing on his two roles while I focus on my coaching business and our home. And so my job was to guide the logistics of our family around all of this stuff that was happening: school runs, house chores, cooking. I'll be honest. None of those are my favorite things to do. But I do like it when things run smoothly. In fact, I need things to run smoothly. It stresses me out when things are needlessly difficult, emphasis on needlessly. Of course, there will always be unexpected things, and we can deal with that. But if you put in just a little bit of effort to prepare, and focus on the things that you can guide, then life. The year itself, unfortunately, started with a very sick little boy. Our son became very ill and needed basically 24/7 care for nearly a week before he started to get better. But this has happened to a lot of families that I know. Flu season has hit our area really hard this year. So many people. They even had to cancel classes at our son's school because teachers were ill too. And they always try to find replacements, and they merge classes if they have to. Most of the time, miraculously, they find a way. But sometimes there's just no getting around it, and they have to cancel classes. It's a headache, like, for the school, even more than for the parents, I can imagine. They alternate between the different years, and in the end, our boy only had to miss one day of school, and both my partner and I, we could clear part of our schedules to be there for him. He was with him in the morning while I got some work done, and then in the afternoon I took over, and he got some work done, and that way we made it work. And well, one of the reasons why I decided to start my own company is so that I could be more flexible with my time and be there for my kid. So despite all of this, I'm grateful that we are able to solve these issues this way. At the same time, my inner critic did flare up, criticizing like everything from my parenting choices to my work attitude, saying things like, shouldn't you take your kid to the hospital? Why are you even working? You should be 100% here for your kid. You're such a bad mom. Or why didn't you get more done this week? Sure, your kid is sick, but you're a business owner and you should be getting after it. And then you make the mistake of going on social media, and then there's the look at that post. Oh, that person is doing so much better than you. I knew it. You're never going to make this business work. So I don't know if you recognize that. But have you ever noticed that when you're especially tired, the inner critic becomes super loud? And it can get downright nasty, like comparing you to others, pointing out all the tiny mistakes that you're making, imagining that the world is going to explode if you don't, do the thing, do that one thing right now. It's like a bully blasting this annoying song on repeat. My goal with work this month was to further align everything with the Exploring Introvert, which is both a newsletter and this podcast. So the content is very different between them now, though. In the past, it was more similar. But now in a podcast, I'm sharing these monthly updates with you. In the newsletter, on the other hand, it's more in depth about specific topics that are important for introverts in their career, like how to stop tiredness, how to discover what naturally motivates you, and how to strengthen your relationships in a way that feels natural for you as an introvert. And in the newsletter, I like to dive into the research and share practical tips. Sometimes, dissecting myths. The last article I wrote is about the 21-day rule with the question, is it truth or myth that it takes 21 days to build a habit? Spoiler alert, this one is a myth. And in the article, we talked about, what the research says about how long it takes to actually build a habit and what to focus on instead of the number of days if you want to adopt habits successfully. In terms of aligning everything, I've made some good progress. Updating the homepage of my website, rewriting texts that, connect a bit better. Also connecting to how I help people in my coaching programs. And you'll now find the Exploring Introvert on all my socials. I'm mostly active on LinkedIn right now, but I've updated my other profiles so that it's consistent, mostly. I'll still be making some tweaks. I love tweaking things, so I'm constantly making small tweaks here and there. But the red thread is there, and I'm super glad about that. It was something that was like bugging me, and now I can see it coming together. I also realized during the holidays that I miss people, and I want to hang out with people more. It was really nice to spend time with family, but I work by myself a lot, and I miss like the camaraderie of having colleagues. So as an entrepreneur, you have to create that for yourself. And I decided I'm just gonna invite some people, I'm just gonna invite some people to hang out. So I'm organizing a New Year's event next month. I know New Year's has passed, but I feel the year is still young. Okay, February is still very early in the year. And I thought, why not? It's an invite-only event. The invites went out yesterday, and I've already received a bunch of RSVPs of people coming. So I'm really excited. It will just be low-key, meeting together in a cafe, having some drinks, some snacks, and just, reconnecting with people I haven't seen in a while. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So although there was progress, I didn't get as much done as I expected. After the holidays, I was raring to go. I was like, come on. So there is this initial disappointment when things don't exactly go to plan. But looking back now, it's clear why the plan changed, right? There were simply other important things that needed my attention. And I'm happy that I could make space for that. And that brings me to my biggest lesson this month, that learning how to pace yourself really is an undervalued skill. I mean, right after I started work again, with everything that was going on, I realized very quickly that I could not keep up the pace if I didn't slow down. It sounds contradictory, but knowing when to slow down is the thing that's eventually going to help you to make progress. A lot of us have been taught to push ourselves, right? When I was younger, I always learned that you need to work hard and you have to give everything you got. Moving to another country at 18, I had to learn and adapt really quickly. And I felt that I needed to work harder than my classmates just to be taken seriously. So I'd be lying if I said that work attitude hasn't been helpful. It helped me to achieve a lot of things. I got scholarships, I got an international internship, and finished my PhD by the time I was 28. But towards the end of my scientific career and now as a business owner with a young family, that work attitude hasn't always been helpful because there's always more work to do. If you only look through the work hard lens, you'll never stop working, often until your body makes you stop. So learning how to pace myself is one of the most valuable skills I've learned over the years. I love this quote from Jim Kwik. If you only have 40% and you give 40%, you gave 100%. It's a great quote because we often forget that giving your best doesn't mean that you have to give everything that's left in your tank. You can take a breath. You can give yourself space to recharge and to find your center. And when you take care of yourself in that way, you can give your best to others without having to give everything that's left in your tank. Most introverts have a strong inner critic. Mine also comes up from time to time, like, when our boy was ill and this little voice in my head criticized me for not getting enough done with work. And the inner critic can hold on to old patterns like this. It can suck up the little bit of energy that you have left and try to push you to do things that make sense on paper, but that typically take you farther away from what you really need. For a lot of introverts, that's proper mental rest. And introverts need to rest in different ways than we're typically taught. Sleep is obviously important, but sleep alone is not enough to fully recharge for most introverts. We also need decompression, time, and quiet time. When you get proper mental rest, you feel energized. It's easier to connect with the people that you care about in a meaningful way, and you feel naturally supported. And then having the proper support system or network of people around you that support you, that is the perfect combination to feel nurtured and to be able to keep going. So the next time you realize that you can't keep up the pace, give yourself permission to slow down. Going hard all the time only burns out the fire quickly. If you want to keep making progress in your career and feel more fulfilled doing it, it's really about knowing how to pace yourself, when to slow down so that you have space to feel inspired and motivated again. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I will see you next month. Bye.